In Puerto Rico, a base that had been closed for almost 20 years is suddenly coming back to life. Roosevelt Roads in Saba, once abandoned and left to decay, now roars again with the sound of military engines. The United States is moving in stealth F-35 fighter jets, Osprey FIV-22 aircraft, massive CH-53 helicopters, Blackhawks, and heavy C-17 transports loaded with troops and equipment. The question is simple but alarming. Is this just a temporary exercise, or is it the opening act of something much larger, something tied to the rising tensions with Venezuela? Roosevelt Roads was once one of Washington's most important strongholds in the Caribbean. Built during the Cold War, it served for decades as a strategic hub. But in 2004, it was closed after protests and changing military priorities. For years it stood silent, its runways cracked, its buildings crumbling, its future uncertain. Yet today, the silence has been broken. In recent days, locals and observers have witnessed the arrival of F-35 stealth fighters, the most advanced combat aircraft in the U.S. arsenal, designed to evade radar and dominate any modern battlefield. Alongside them, Osprey 5x10 to the power of 22 tiltrotors are landing machines that combine the vertical lift of a helicopter with the range and speed of an airplane, ideal for rapid deployment across the islands. Heavy CH-53 helicopters and UH-60 Blackhawks are also on the ground, essential for moving troops, supplies, and equipment. Massive C-17 Globemaster transport planes have been landing, unloading vehicles and soldiers. This is not a light presence. This is a major buildup. And so we must ask, why revive a decaying base? Why pour in this level of firepower? Unless Washington is preparing for something more. What is happening in the skies of Puerto Rico is mirrored in the surrounding seas. The Caribbean in recent weeks has seen an unusual concentration of U.S. Navy warships. The types of vessels deployed reveal much about Washington's intentions. Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, the backbone of the Navy, are capable of launching Tomahawk missiles to strike targets more than 1,500 kilometers away. These ships, equipped with the Aegis combat system, can track dozens of aircraft and missiles simultaneously, offering protection to the entire fleet. Alongside them, Ticonderoga-class cruisers continue to serve, packed with vertical launch systems, and able to unleash a storm of missiles for both offense and defense. Perhaps most telling is the presence of Wasp-class amphibious assault ships, floating fortresses that function as small aircraft carriers. They can carry hundreds of Marines, tanks, helicopters, and even F-35B short takeoff jets, giving the U.S. the ability to project power directly onto any shore in the region. Littoral combat ships are also present. Fast and flexible vessels designed for operations close to land, perfect for the Caribbean's shallow waters, and accompanying all of them are logistics and supply ships, fuel, ammunition, food. Their presence suggests this is not a short deployment. When the U.S. Navy brings its support ships, it is preparing to stay. To understand why this is happening now, we need to look south toward Venezuela. Tensions between Washington and Caracas have been climbing steadily. Venezuela has strengthened its ties with Russia, China, and Iran, receiving advanced weapons and training. The Venezuelan military has been conducting exercises with Russian-made Sukhoi fighter jets. For Washington, this is not just about Venezuela. It is about influence, alliances, and control of the hemisphere. By reactivating Roosevelt Roads and positioning naval forces in the Caribbean, the United States sends a direct message. It is ready to respond. And the buildup may not stop here. In recent days, unconfirmed reports and naval tracking data suggest that the U.S. could be moving even more powerful assets into the region, possibly including a carrier strike group. If true, this would mean not just destroyers and amphibious ships, but a full-size nuclear-powered aircraft carrier with dozens of F/A-18 Super Hornets and electronic warfare planes supported by cruisers, destroyers, submarines, and supply ships. The presence of a carrier group would completely change the balance of power in the Caribbean, signaling that Washington is ready for sustained operations, not just symbolic patrols. While these movements are still the subject of speculation, the possibility alone raises the stakes and sends a clear message to anyone watching. The U.S. is prepared to escalate if necessary. The reactivation of Roosevelt Roads carries enormous strategic weight. From this base, the United States can control vital sea lanes in the Eastern Caribbean, rapidly deploy forces towards South America. Most importantly, it places stealth fighters and amphibious forces just a short flight away from Venezuelan airspace. With F-35s in Puerto Rico, destroyers and cruisers at sea, and Marines stationed aboard amphibious assault ships, Washington now has a layered force, air dominance, sea control, and the ability to land troops quickly if needed. This combination is not defensive in nature. It is an unmistakable display of offensive power projection. The kind of posture that says, we are ready and we are watching. But with such buildups come risks. Whenever rival forces gather this close together, the the possibility of miscalculation increases. One radar lock on a fighter jet, one patrol boat venturing too near a warship, one missile test interpreted the wrong way. Any of these could spark a dangerous chain reaction. History has shown us how quickly tensions can escalate in the Caribbean. It happened during the Cuban Missile Crisis when the world came within inches of nuclear war. And now, decades later, the same waters are once again filling with warships, aircraft, and uncertainty. So, we must ask ourselves, are we watching the Caribbean turn into the next flashpoint of global confrontation? Roosevelt Roads lives again. Jets scream across its skies. Destroyers and carriers patrol its waters. And just a few hundred miles to the south, Venezuela watches and prepares. The Caribbean is no longer calm.
It has become a chessboard.
And with every new move, the stakes rise higher. What happens next may very well change the balance of power in the entire hemisphere. Thank you for watching this video and staying with us through this deep dive into the unfolding situation. If you want to stay updated on what happens next in the Caribbean and beyond, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next report. Your support means everything, and together we'll keep following the moves on this global chessboard.